Welcome to 734 Games, and this is your host Tom. And today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about some social issues. You see, I've been noticing on the internet, I don't know, maybe I have too much time on my hands in this little societal shutdown we have going on. But basically, I'm looking at these movements we have, like the Red Pill Men's Movement and the MGTOW. And what I see are not movements that are polar opposites of each other, but rather two sides of the same coin. And it's interesting because one side is basically we're going to avoid women and not talk to women because all women are bad and they only want certain things. They only want money and that's it. They care about money and looks and they're all shallow. And the other side is basically, well, we're just going to basically use women and maybe not use women per se, but manipulate women. And it's funny because we live in such a messed up social climate in the 2010s and 20s that I think women are in trouble, actually. I mean, feminism has really failed women. It's very toxic, and I think it's hurtful. And most women today do not believe that they are worthy of actual love. And that's interesting. I mean, some of them know it cognitively, but knowing something cognitively is not like knowing something spiritually or emotionally. And what's wrong with both movements is that neither of them are trying to help women, and in doing so, neither of them actually help men either. And what I see is that both of these movements come from men's failure with women, and I don't think that most of these men are failing with women because they don't have enough money or because they're not attractive enough. I think that most of the time these men are failing with women because they haven't been able to convince these women that they are worthy of love, at least spiritually and emotionally. And I mean, I know that's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. And I think that, it's crazy that we're all separated right now. And the social climate before this was, I mean, you had a lot of ideologies throwing their weight around, a lot of different ideologies, especially the left and right, where people were very hostile toward each other. And now we have a problem where we have to pull together, and I hope we can do that. I mean, maybe we can't, but I hope that we can turn this around and beat this virus and do what we have to do. Oh, I said the V word. It'll probably be demonetized, whatever. Yeah, if I'm on YouTube. I'm going to put this video on YouTube. I normally don't do that, but that's what I'm going to do today. But anyway, with that being said, obviously, convincing someone that they're worthy of love is actually much harder to do than it is to say, but it isn't impossible. And I think we can do that. And I would say to most people out there, stay away from these movements because these movements are just like heavy in ideology. I mean, there's some things like some of the things that the red pill guys say are completely straight on. They look at a lot of the heavy left stuff, the feminism and how the women who sleep around have a much harder time finding long-term relationships, and they're totally spot on with that. But there's a little bit of truth there, and then they go totally off the rails. So I think it's time for us to do something a little bit different. And definitely, after this is over, we definitely have to get out there and be men and be strong. And you have to be confident in yourself. Have confidence in yourself to convince somebody else that they're worthy of anything. So that's pretty much it for this episode of 734 Games. This is your host, Tom, signing off. And those are just the one humble man's thoughts on some of these social movements that are going on right now. That's it. Goodbye.